The Smithsonian museums are now in President Trump's bullseye, and the reason is linked to how it tells the story of American history. The White House is launching a review to make sure some of the museums are in alignment with Trump's vision to celebrate American exceptionalism. That means removing partisanship from exhibits. Here's what the president said about it yesterday.
We want the museums to treat our country fairly. We want the museums to talk about the history of our country in a fair manner, not in a woke manner or in a racist manner, which is what many of them, not all of them, but many of them are doing.
Joining us on this Friday morning is the Hill's In the Know columnist Judy Kurtz. You're always at the intersection of politics and entertainment, so we appreciate you being here as always.
Thank you. At the intersection, and now I'm right here.
Exactly, exactly. So this letter sort of caused some waves with folks out in the district and nationwide, given the Smithsonian's importance to American cultural history. What is the latest?
Yeah, the White House saying that this is about preserving the integrity of one of America's most trusted institutions. And we haven't really, it's pretty unprecedented to hear the White House weigh in this much on some museum exhibits. But a lot of the focus in this letter is on this America 250 celebration. It's a celebration happening next year, marking the anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And President Trump has really honed in on this celebration. It was one of his campaign promises to have this sort of year-long spectacular celebration, and they want the Smithsonian's exhibits that are tied to the America 250 celebration to really be, telling the story that they want to tell about the country. So there are 8 museums that are included in this letter from the museum. I think we have them here: National Museum of American History, Natural History, African American History and Culture, American Indian Museum, Air and Space Museum, and there are a few more: the American Art Museum, Portrait Gallery, the Sculpture Garden. And this is just phase 1. They actually said there's going to be a phase 2, and additional museums are going to be added.
So that's like almost all of them, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of them. There are 29, I think, in total with the Smithsonian Institution. So they said this is going to be an all-encompassing review of the exhibits.
What is sort of the criteria here in terms of what these museums have to do, what the president ultimately wants to do as we, again, prepare for America 250?
Yeah, they said they're going to focus on public-facing content. Some of the exhibitions, what kind of narratives are being told. They said they really want to make sure that there's material that has a unifying, historically accurate content to it. And the aim here is to ensure alignment with President Trump's directive to celebrate American exceptionalism, remove divisive partisan narratives. The letter itself had a more conciliatory tone, that we're going to work together to make this happen. Some of White House officials have definitely taken on a more heated language when talking about some of the Smithsonian museums. One of the 3 White House officials who signed that letter accused one of the museums of having a politically divisive exhibit, a pop culture exhibit. So definitely a lot of opinions about the Smithsonian exhibits. David Axelrod, a Democratic strategist, is one of the critics of this White House intervention into the Smithsonian, saying this is kind of a Soviet feel to it, a Stalinist feel, and trying to rewrite history. A lot of critics of President Trump and this effort say that this is basically a way for them to target DEI initiatives and practices in the government, and it's a fancy way of saying in a letter that they don't want DEI in the Smithsonian.
So the Smithsonian is America's museum. People from all over the country come here. They get in for free, which is really nice, certainly a benefit to all of us locally. And I would imagine, much like the Kennedy Center is dividing people in the DMV, this probably is doing the same, Judy.
Yeah, but it's unclear at this point how much we as patrons of the Smithsonian might see as an effect of this. But you're right, the Kennedy Center is one part of this kind of vision of a cultural landscape that President Trump really wants to align with his own vision for what he wants to see. And he was just at the Kennedy Center. I was there covering him on Wednesday, and he mentioned not only the Kennedy Center, but the Smithsonian and this America 250 celebration as part of that vision that he sees.
What's next in terms of a timeline here? When could we maybe see some changes start to be implemented in these exhibits?
Yeah, the letter laid out a very specific timeline for when the Smithsonian has to respond and meet certain benchmarks, 30 days to get some content back to the White House about what exhibits it plans to show, and then provide a point of contact, and then it has 75 days to show more exhibits and more content. And it has, I think, 120 days to make corrections, as the White House says, to any content that it takes issue with.
Judy Kurtz, thank you so much.
Thanks to you
Really
both.
appreciate it.